Well, are you losing views? I mean, the right views, because no one's clicking on your videos. So here's the truth. You're probably facing the thumbnail problem. And that is that your thumbnails are probably not catching the eye of people. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to fix those thumbnails and start seeing results. I've helped hundreds of creators double their videos, the right views, not just views. We're not about going viral. It's about the right views. I've helped hundreds of creators fix their thumbnails and their videos from 500 views per video to over 50,000 views just by tweaking a few of the thumbnails. And today I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing. So I've also created a free checklist. If you want, you can download, and it will help you to design your thumbnails. And so you can get clicks, and that's what you want. But you want the right people, not just views. You're not 20 years old looking for a viral video of, cats dancing or something like that. So I'm going to leave this in the description. You can grab it now and you can follow along and go through this. So when I started on YouTube, I couldn't figure out why no one was watching my videos. So I started doing some research. I got in depth. I really, I was a marketing and advertising major, but when it came to YouTube, it was quite a strange environment because we were talking about a long-form content of something you're talking, not just creating a 30-second advertisement. And I was trained in creating advertisements and marketing for big corporations and things like that. And so what the big problem is that when you're creating long-form content, you got to keep somebody's attention for quite a while. You've got to provide value that continues on for someone because they'll just want to move on. So I started feeling stuck and frustrated. And I thought my content was great, but my views were terrible. So I made some changes, and then I discovered a simple strategy for creating thumbnails that got more attention and creating the videos that kept long-term interest. And there's a methodology and a science behind it. And it seems kind of overwhelming at first, and that's why you need an outline, and sometimes you need a coach to help get you through this until the point where you're doing these things, and it just flows. You've done so many, you just remember to mention something. You're not trying to sell people anything. You may persuade them into something they already want, but the key goal in all of it is attracting the right people. I'd rather have 1,000 people who are highly interested in what I'm talking about and how I might be able to help them and how the information can guide their life to where they want to go than have 100,000 views of people that do nothing, because there are literally thousands and thousands of content creators on YouTube platforms and other places that have 1 million subscribers and they're broke. And the reason is because they're not, one, they don't know what they're doing really besides creating funny videos or whatever it is. And that's not really changing anybody's life. If you want to make money on YouTube and you want to get the right viewers and followers, you must solve problems for people. Everyone, you think everything's oversaturated, but it's not. The way the construct of this life is set up, there are so many problems and so many things all the time that we all need help with. And we need someone, oftentimes, because there's just too much to learn, to help guide us through that. So you're never going to get them to watch your video if you don't realize that you are scrolling through thousands and thousands of things all the time that is trying to get their attention. And if you don't have your thumbnail correct, say the right message, be bold and clear, you're going to waste hours. You're going to create an 8-hour video editing, trying to perfect it, and people are just going to swipe right on by it, because there's a simple formula to all of this, and it's not that hard once you get it. But until you get it, it is very hard, because you're constantly thinking that I'm just going to copy what someone else in my niche is doing, or somebody, or you're going to be like, oh, look at this simple Mr. Beast video thumbnail. And you realize when you watch one of his interviews, it's like, oh, yeah, we'll spend almost as much time creating a thumbnail as the video. So let's get into what you need to do to create a good thumbnail. So you want one strong image of something. And preferably, if you're building a brand, it's probably going to be your face. If you don't want your face on there, I use the simplest format I use is Canva, and they have thousands of people's faces making all kinds of expressions. I'll tell you now, when it comes, so that people used to use like these very over the top expressions. People make faces like this and stuff, and that's gotten old. That's gotten carnival to people. And so somebody searching out an answer for something, let's say technical information or relationship. Who knows what you're talking about? They want something a little more serious. They don't want to waste their time on a clown video when it comes to this type of stuff, when it comes to business, when it comes to sales, when it comes to something you're trying to do. A doctor doesn't need a picture of somebody going, oh, on it like that. Those don't work so much anymore. People have caught on to them being kind of clickbait. So strong, serious images, or depends on what kind of video you're making, but you want some kind of face that conveys a psychology of something trustworthy so they can trust their time to watch your video. And you want to keep the text short in your video. The number one thing I found, and even me, you're like, I need to get this point across, and you're trying to think, how do I say this and not break all the rules of English or grammar? How can I narrow all of this down into 3 words? That takes a little bit of thought process. Even using AI to try to create things like this, like a 3-word thumbnail, and even times 1 word. If you're really expressive and can do this right, you might use 1 word and then an image and a facial expression, or 1 word and an image, and be able to express more than a sentence that you're trying to say. But if you are going to use text, you want to try to keep it at about 3 words, 5 at the most, large font, probably a darker background, and keep everything bold and readable. And once you find, let's say you're posting your videos and you can do a thumbnail test, and you make 3 of them. Once you find a video that kind of starts to stick for your niche, stick for the theme of your channel, then try to make those, and then try to keep using that same style, because it's a memory input thing, so that when people are scrolling and you show up on their home feed, you're immediately recognizable. You know what I'm saying? Like it clicks, and then when they're in the mood to see your stuff, they don't have a different thumbnail for every video you make with a different person's face, a different color, different font. You want them to know immediately, that like split second. So everything that you create, you got to think of it like this. Imagine your thumbnail on YouTube to be like a billboard on the side of the highway with other billboards in a row, and you're driving 70 miles an hour down the interstate, and you have time to glance up. Hey, what's that? Oh, there's a place to eat. Where's the gas station? And you've got seconds. Think about it. You're driving. Somebody's driving their car, and they look up. They can't stare at it and read it, and then the next, because they're going to pass it. Zoom. And then the next billboard is going to try to get their attention. No, look at me. Come watch my stuff. Come get gas at my place. Come eat at my place. So you've only got a few seconds to be bold, catch their attention, and if they've already watched your videos and like it, you want them to watch more by being recognizable. So that's why you stick to a same image, maybe a person's face over and over again. You want to be recognizable in a repeatable fashion. Now, sometimes when you're first getting started, nobody knows who you are. You may use another face or something to catch attention just to get the ball rolling. I do that every once in a while if I start a new channel or something like that. So you want to use perhaps an attractive person, making a face pre-designed, male or female. But if they see an attractive person's face and it looks like that attractive person is the one that's going to be doing the talking in the video, and they click on, and you're a 65-year-old man with a beard, and you put, this 20-year-old model on there, they may be a little disappointed and feel like clickbait. So you got to be smart about that. It's okay to use those images if it's obvious that it's just an image, an advertisement, So anyway, keep those tactics alive and well in your thought process. You want to create high contrast to make the text pop. I found some of the most successful is just a black background with bold white font. If you use colored font, you may want to use a shadow effect around it. Like I say, I use Canva because for someone who's not, didn't go to school for graphic design and things like that, Canva is very user-friendly, easy to figure out. You can remove the background. Let's say it's a picture of you. You can remove the background very quickly off of something. You can smash some text in there really quick, 3 words, line it up, size it, and create it already pre-designed. They already have pre-designed YouTube thumbnails so that you can just download it and then drag it right onto your video. So most of the time when you see me reference this stuff, I make my thumbnails there, and The information I give you is for solopreneurs that can also be expanded for large companies. But I like to start, just like when I taught martial arts years ago, I always made things simple for people in the beginning so that they could apply the most easily understood and applicable things right away. They began learning stuff right out the bat. So use the high contrast of making your letters pop and your face. So the next thing is to focus on curiosity. If you don't have curiosity in your words or text or emotional things that trigger someone to be like, I can't scroll away from this. I got to know. So you want to make people ask a question like, what happens next? So that takes a lot of thought to put 3 words, an image, and then have a title that makes people so curious that they, out of millions of videos, they have to click on yours. This is why because most people will spend, 8 hours, 2 days editing a video, creating something, and they're by that time kind of burnt out before they even create a thumbnail. And then they go back and try to create a thumbnail and title and just kind of slap it on the video when they don't realize the most important thing is to get the person to stop scrolling through the noise. Imagine your person who might watch your video is driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour and you're a billboard. And you got to get their attention before anything happens. So you got to remember that in this whole process, or you'll be wasting a lot of time. Think about it. So here's what I always tell people. Before you even start anything, and come up with an idea that you think is going to work for your video or you'd like to put to people. Create your thumbnail first. You can always change it later, but create it first and then come up with the title as well. And, I have programs now already designed in our specialized computer that helps create videos for people and scripts and gives ideas for thumbnails. That's our VideoWorks coach. It's a special computer system with all of the technical stuff about doing these things already built in. So you can find out about that later as well. I'll leave a link in the description for that too. That's our coach, 24/7 coach. You can ask questions and try to get over these hurdles. So if you're tired of struggling with low views and clicks, and when I say views, I mean the right views, not viral views. Like I said, 1,000 people who are really interested in your stuff are better than 100,000 people who are just looking to be entertained. So you can fix it by checking out the link below, of course. Also, I'll leave a link into about a challenge. So I'm going to do like a couple-week challenge, 10-day challenge or something with you guys so you can join up and try to get over this hurdle of creating these videos, putting your life work into it, really struggling, and learn more about what's happening, how to overcome it, and get your videos seen so that you can make an impact on the world. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of gurus out there, a lot of people telling you things that are not going to help you. In fact, it helps the platforms that the video is on, but it doesn't help you. And the marketing vices really come down from people who've left big corporations and are trying to tell you how to do certain things where they had 10 or 15 people who worked on production and stuff. It's not going to work for a small company. Not going to work for a doctor's office or somebody trying to get their point across to the world. And they're like, this isn't working. So anyway, I hope this works out for you well. Like I say, if you want a little more information, check out our downloads in the description. Sometimes, like me, I like to sit and look at something and ponder it for a few minutes because you can't really take it all in as somebody speaking because they're moving on to the next subjects.